Hello, and welcome to Deep Space Sleep Channel. I'm so glad you're here tonight. Tonight, we return to the oldest lullaby. There is the quiet breathing of the universe itself. Long before stars were born, before even time had a name, space was only silence waiting to become sound. That silence never truly ended, it simply changed form. Moving through starlight, through gravity, through the atoms in your own body. Every particle in you carries a story written billions of years ago. The calcium in your bones was forged in a dying star. The iron in your blood was once part of a collapsing sun. The universe is not distant, it is what you are made of. As you listen, let each fact unfold like a slow orbit. Don't try to understand everything at once. Just let the rhythm of cosmic history flow through you. Calm and steady, breathe as galaxies expand, as light travels, as gravity hums beneath thought. Let wonder replace worry. Let stillness become infinite, somewhere beyond the noise of the day. The cosmos is still unfolding, not in chaos, but in perfect quiet, and somewhere between silence and stars, the story quietly begins. You don't need to think about the mind, it's already at rest. Let's begin. At the very beginning, the universe was not dark. It was too bright to see. Light itself was trapped inside a hot fog of particles, scattered in every direction. Only when the cosmos cooled, about 380,000 years after its birth, did photons begin to travel freely. That was the moment light was born as we know it, a quiet release, an exhale of clarity across infinite space. That same light still moves through you now, its journey unbroken, crossing time like a slow, steady breath of memory. The universe was learning to exist, to separate light from matter, and to let silence stretch into something vast enough for dreams to fit inside. And in that expanding stillness, the first glimmer of understanding began to glow softly, not to be seen, but to be felt. Hydrogen came first, the simplest thought the universe ever had. Out of the cooling fire, protons found electrons and held on, creating the first atoms. From that quiet chemistry, everything else unfolded. Hydrogen joined with helium, scattered into oceans of space, waiting billions of years to be pulled into stars. Those stars would one day forge carbon, oxygen, and iron, the elements of life. The first atoms were like notes without a melody, suspended in silence, waiting for rhythm to form. Even now, in the air you breathe, hydrogen whispers its ancient origin. Every breath you take contains something older than stars, reminding you that creation never stopped, it only slowed into stillness. There is a faint glow across the sky that no eye can see, but every instrument can hear. It is the cosmic microwave background, the leftover warmth from the universe's first light. When we tune into that signal, we are listening to time itself cooling, stretching from blinding fire into gentle darkness. Each tiny fluctuation in that light became the seeds of galaxies, written as soft variations in temperature. It is the oldest photograph of existence, a snapshot of everything before shape, before color, before meaning. That light has traveled for nearly 14 billion years to reach us, unchanged, patient, eternal. When you close your eyes tonight, it still falls on you, a soft, invisible blanket from the beginning of time. If you could hear the early universe, it would sound like a long, low note, a cosmic hum frozen in time. The young cosmos was filled with waves of pressure moving through dense plasma, like ripples in an unseen ocean. As the universe expanded and cooled, those waves stretched and slowed until they turned into silence. What remains is the aftersound patterns in the microwave background that carry the memory of that vibration. It is not sound as we know it, but the ghost of resonance itself. Somewhere in that ancient music, the rhythm of everything was written. The pulse of stars, the orbit of planets, even the quiet pace of your own heartbeat. The universe, it seems, has always been singing softly to itself. In its first heartbeat, the cosmos grew faster than light, not breaking its own laws, but rewriting them. This brief moment, called inflation, stretched space in every direction, almost instantly. Galaxies, atoms, even the seeds of gravity were scattered across unimaginable distance. What began smaller than a proton became vast enough to hold billions of worlds. Yet from that immense speed came quiet order. The rapid expansion smoothed the universe, cooled its chaos, and made room for time to unfold gently. Every second since then has been a slower echo of that first impossible motion. In the pause between your breaths, space still expands a little more, the same silent heartbeat continuing. Softer now, butte endless. At creation, matter and antimatter appeared in perfect balance, twins of opposite charge. Born together in light, when they met, they vanished in a flash of energy, leaving behind only silence and radiation. But something small broke the symmetry. For every billion pairs, one lonely particle of matter survived. That tiny imbalance became everything, every atom, every star, every thought. The dance between matter and antimatter was not war but choreography. A pattern written in annihilation. Out of perfect opposition came the possibility of form, of time, of us. The rest burned away like morning fog, and what remained settled into the rhythm of existence itself. Even now, when a particle disappears in light, it repeats that ancient gesture, the universe remembering its first steps into being, invisible yet essential. Dark matter created the skeleton of everything we see. It does not glow, scatter, or reflect, but its gravity shapes the galaxies. After the Big Bang, tiny fluctuations in density gathered under its pull, forming halos, unseen wells where normal matter could collect. Inside those invisible frameworks, stars were born like dew, gathering on spider silk. Without dark matter, the universe would be shapeless, a cloud without edges. Astronomers map it only through its effects, watching galaxies move in ways that betray the unseen hand beneath them. It is the quiet architecture of the cosmos, the hidden scaffolding that holds light in place. Every shining star is a note played on this invisible instrument, tuned by gravity and silence alike. Gravity began not with noise, but with a whisper across the vast emptiness. Matter drew closer, pulled by attraction so gentle it took millions of years to be felt. As clouds of hydrogen and helium condensed, pressure rose and heat bloomed from the center. Then, at a precise moment, fusion ignited. The first starlight flickered into being. It was not an explosion, but a kindling. From that soft ignition, energy spread through darkness, filling the void with color. Every beam of light today traces its ancestry back to that whisper, that quiet persuasion of gravity calling matter home. Even now, as new stars form in distant nebulae, they are answering the same invitation to shine, to warm, to remind the universe of its own gentle beginnings in the first second of existence. The universe created time itself, and it never truly stopped beginning. Temperatures soared, particles appeared, forces separated, and space inflated beyond comprehension. Yet all of that happened in a single heartbeat, a moment without before or after. The expansion never ended. It only slowed into something we could measure. Every second since then has been the first second, stretched thinner, cooler, but still ongoing. Physicists call it evolution, but it feels more like breathing, a continuous unfolding. That opening moment was not a spark that faded, but a rhythm that continues now, through galaxies, through atoms, through you. Every breath you take is part of that same first second, echoing softly through all of time. Between every explosion, there was silence, and in that silence, space found its shape. The young universe was a storm of creation, bursts of radiation, flashes of matter forming and dissolving. Yet what truly built the cosmos was not the noise, but the pauses between. Each still moment allowed temperature to drop, particles to bond, and order to appear. The universe expanded in pulses, energy, then quiet, then energy again until the pattern became stable. Even now, that rhythm continues. Stars flare and fade, galaxies collide and rest. Light travels and pauses in gravity's arms. Creation, it seems, was born from intervals of peace. The silence between explosions was not empty at all. It was the moment space remembered how to hold itself together. At creation, matter and antimatter appeared in perfect balance, twins of opposite charge, born together in light. When they met, they vanished in a flash of energy, leaving behind only silence and radiation. But something small broke the symmetry. For every billion pairs, one lonely particle of matter survived. That tiny imbalance became everything, every atom, every star, every thought. The dance between matter and antimatter was not war but choreography, a pattern written in annihilation. Out of perfect opposition came the possibility of form, of time, of us. The rest burned away like morning fog, and what remained settled into the rhythm of existence itself. Even now, when a particle disappears in light, it repeats that ancient gesture, the universe remembering its first steps into being, invisible yet essential. Dark matter created the skeleton of everything we see. It does not glow, scatter, or reflect, but its gravity shapes the galaxies. After the Big Bang, tiny fluctuations in density gathered under its pull, forming halos, unseen wells where normal matter could collect. Inside those invisible frameworks, stars were born like dew gathering on spider silk. Without dark matter, the universe would be shapeless, a cloud without edges. Astronomers map it only through its effects, watching galaxies move in ways that betray the unseen hand beneath them. It is the quiet architecture of the cosmos, the hidden scaffolding that holds light in place. Every shining star is a note played on this invisible instrument, tuned by gravity and silence alike. Gravity began not with noise, but with a whisper. Across the vast emptiness, matter drew closer, pulled by attraction so gentle it took millions of years to be felt. As clouds of hydrogen and helium condensed, pressure rose and heat bloomed from the center. Then, at a precise moment, fusion ignited, the first starlight flickered into being. It was not an explosion, but a kindling. From that soft ignition, energy spread through darkness, filling the void with color. Every beam of light today traces its ancestry back to that whisper, that quiet persuasion of gravity calling matter home. Even now, as new stars form in distant nebulae, they are answering the same invitation to shine, to warm, to remind the universe of its own gentle beginnings. In the first second of existence, the universe created time itself, and it never truly stopped beginning. Temperatures soared, particles à pierre, forces separated, and space inflated beyond comprehension. Yet all of that happened in a single heartbeat, a moment without before or after. The expansion never ended. It only slowed into something we could measure. Every second since then has been the first second, stretched thinner, cooler, but still ongoing. Physicists call it evolution, but it feels more like breathing, a continuous unfolding. That opening moment was not a spark that faded, but a rhythm that continues now. Through galaxies, through atoms, through you. Every breath you take is part of that same first second, echoing softly through all of time. Between every explosion, there was silence, and in that silence, space found its shape. The young universe was a storm of creation, bursts of radiation, flashes of matter forming and dissolving. Yet, what truly built the cosmos was not the noise, but the pauses between. Each still moment allowed temperature to drop, particles to bond, and order to appear. The universe expanded in pulses, energy. Then quiet. Then energy again until the pattern became stable. Even now, that rhythm continues. Stars flare and fade. Galaxies collide and rest. Light travels and pauses in gravity's arms. Creation, it seems, was born from intervals of peace. The silence between explosions was not empty at all. It was the moment space remembered how to hold itself together. Inside every star, atoms move to a rhythm older than time. Hydrogen nuclei fuse into helium, releasing energy that pushes outward while gravity pulls inward. This perfect balance fusion against collapse creates a heartbeat measured in millions of years. The nuclear rhythm keeps stars alive, steady and bright. Second, the sun converts nearly 4 million tons of matter into pure light, and yet it barely changes shape. Deep inside that furnace, pressure and temperature sustain a silent pulse that travels to the surface and radiates across space. When you feel sunlight on your skin, you are feeling the steady breath of a star, still keeping time. Its rhythm never rushes, never fodders, only hums a calm, burning balance between creation and rest, between the will to shine and the peace of simply being. A star's color is more than beauty. It is a secret code of temperature. Blue stars blaze hottest. Their light, sharp, and energetic. Yellow stars like our sun are gentler, balanced between heat and longevity. Red stars burn cooler, their glow soft and steady. Through a telescope, astronomers can read these hues like maps, translating color into temperature, composition, and age. The color tells a story. A blue star lives fast and dies young, while a red one endures. Light becomes language, and the spectrum its alphabet. Each shade in the night sky is not random, but the whisper of physics written in color. The next time you look up, you're not just seeing brightness, You're seeing temperature turned into poetry, warmth transformed into quiet, visible song among all the stars. The red dwarfs are the most patient, small, cool, and steady. They burn their hydrogen so slowly they could outlive the universe itself, while massive stars race through their fuel and die in violent collapse. Red dwarfs conserve, glowing softly for trillions of years. Their calm is their strength. Many have never even changed since the beginning of time. They simply endure. Around them, planets may orbit close enough for warmth, where gentle light could nurture long, quiet worlds. When all brighter stars have faded, these small embers will remain tiny lanterns in the dark, keeping watch over the cosmic night. Their persistence is a lesson written in fire. Sometimes survival is not about power, but about patience, about the art of burning slowly, without end. Some stars spin so fast, their very light becomes a signal pulsars. The ticking hearts of the cosmos. When a massive star collapses into a neutron star, its magnetic field and rotation compress into something astonishing. It spins hundreds of times each second, sending beams of radiation sweeping across space like a lighthouse. To distant observers, each pulse arrives in perfect rhythm, so precise that pulsars are used as cosmic clocks. They mark time with the accuracy of atoms, each flash a heartbeat, echoing through eternity. Yet behind that precision is silence. The pulse is only light. No sound, no heat. Just motion and memory. Through those rhythmic signals, the universe counts itself, patient and exact. A song without a singer, the cosmos breathing in regular flashes of light and calm. When a star reaches the end of its life, it does not simply vanish, it gives everything away. In a final blaze, T-Zute layers scatter across space, carrying carbon, oxygen, and iron, the raw materials for planets, oceans, and breath. These stellar remains drift for eons, gathering into clouds that one day ignite again as new suns. Every atom in your body was once inside such a dying star, forged in its heat, released in its farewell. Death in the cosmos is not loss, but transformation. A single supernova can seed an entire galaxy with life's ingredients. When you look at the night sky, you're seeing the ashes of creation still glowing, still traveling, still offering what they became proof that even endings can be generous. Luminous and kind, blue giants live quickly and die beautifully. Born with immense mass, their gravity crushes hydrogen into helium at furious speed, producing dazzling heat and light. They burn with a brilliance that can outshine entire galaxies. Yet their lifespans are short, only a few million years. A breath in cosmic time. Their cores thrum with energy until they collapse, ending in supernova explosions that forge heavy elements and scatter them across space. What remains might become a neutron star or a black hole, but the light they released continues traveling, touching worlds that will never know their name. In their brilliance and brevity lies the paradox of beauty. To shine is to spend, to live intensely is to vanish quickly. The universe remembers them not in form, but in the metals of planets and the faint warmth of distant starlight still drifting home. When a medium-sized star, like our sun, ends its life, it sheds its outer layers and leaves behind a white dwarf, a cinder of incredible density, about the size of Earth yet as massive as the sun. It glows faintly with residual heat, slowly cooling over billions of years. Without fusion to sustain it, the white dwarf's light fades, its energy seeping quietly into the dark. One day, far into the future, these remnants will become black dwarfs, stars gone cold, invisible and silent. None yet exist. The universe is not old enough for them. But one day, when even time has cooled, these dark embers will drift in endless stillness, the quiet ghosts of stars that once burned brightly. Each white dwarf is a promise whispered by light itself. Nothing ends suddenly. It only softens into silence. Every star lives by a delicate truce between fusion and gravity. Gravity pulls inward, trying to collapse the star, while fusion pushes outward, trying to expand it. The moment those two forces balance, the star becomes stable, a perfect tension holding light in suspension. If fusion falters, gravity wins, crushing the core. If fusion grows too strong, the star swells, shedding layers in storms of fire. That balance defines existence itself, not only for stars but for everything built from them. Life, to why, is a balancing act between energy and rest, between holding on and letting go. The universe teaches this quietly through the stars, that harmony is not the absence of pressure, but the meeting point where opposites learn to live together, glowing in steady peace. Neutron stars are the densest whispers in space, the collapsed cores of massive suns. When a supernova ends, gravity squeezes the remnants so tightly that protons and electrons merge into neutrons. A single teaspoon of that matter would weigh billions of tons. They spin rapidly, emitting beams of radiation like lighthouses through eternity. Their magnetic fields are unimaginably strong, bending particles and light itself. Yet for all their violence, neutron stars are silent. No roar, no explosion, just compressed memory. Matter held at the limit of physics. Around them, time and gravity weave strange patterns. Nearby space bends as if listening. They are remnants that refuse to disappear, the quiet aftermath of creation's loudest moments. To study them is to read the universe's heartbeat, compressed into a single, dense note of pure endurance. Every star is a note in the universe's endless song, each shining with its own tone of heat and rhythm of life. Some hum low and long, others flare and vanish. But together they compose the background music of existence. Their light travels for millions of years, weaving harmonies of color and gravity that fill the dark with structure. Galaxies are vast choirs. Nebulae are the breath between verses. The silence between stars is not empty. It's where their melodies meet and fade. The atoms in your body vibrate to that same rhythm, tuned by ancient starlight. When you look up at the night sky, you are hearing, in your own quiet way, the chorus of creation still unfolding. The universe does not shout, it sings softly, endlessly, through every pulse of light. Galaxies are the threads that stitch the universe together, each one filled with billions of stars, stretches across unimaginable distance, connected by gravity into vast filaments and clusters. Between these threads lie great cosmic voids, silent and dark, like pauses in a woven pattern. When scientists mapped the universe in 3 dimensions, they saw not chaos, but structure, a delicate web, luminous and alive. Light flows through this lattice like blood through veins, carrying the history of every supernova, Every atom, every motion, it is a pattern too large for any single mind to grasp, yet simple in its rhythm, attraction and distance, order and space. The cosmic web is not just matter, it is the shape of time itself unfolding, a grand architecture built from gravity and patience, spun across eternity by the quiet hands of physics. The Milky Way moves in slow, graceful spirals, its arms unfolding like waves of time frozen in motion. Each arm is a mixture of newborn stars, ancient giants, and drifting clouds of gas that glow faintly with scattered light. The spiral pattern is not solid, but a ripple, a traveling wave of density sweeping through the disk. Stars move in and out of these arms as if caught in a gentle current, giving the illusion of permanence where none exists. It takes the Milky Way about 200 million years to complete a single rotation, a cosmic heartbeat you will never feel but that surrounds you every moment. We live inside that motion, carried quietly by gravity's rhythm, unaware that the sky above is a vast river of stars flowing around an unseen center. At the heart of almost every galaxy lies an impossible stillness, a black hole, invisible yet in control. Around it, stars orbit like sparks caught in a whirlpool. The gravity is so intense that not even light can escape. Yet the edges glow with energy as matter falls inward. This paradox darkness that shines defines the galactic core. Scientists once thought black holes were rare. Now they know they are essential. Without them, galaxies might never have formed or stayed bound. They act as anchors, shaping the dance of billions of suns around them. And though nothing escapes their event horizon, the space nearby radiates with creation's final brilliance. Each black hole is a silent conductor, orchestrating light and motion, keeping the galaxy's vast symphony from drifting apart. Galaxies rarely travel alone. They move in clusters and groups, bound by gravity's unseen hand. Within these gatherings, some galaxies drift peacefully, while others tug and twist each other's arms, exchanging gas, stars, and motion. Collisions are slow, lasting hundreds of millions of years, and though they sound violent, they are almost silent ballets. Space is mostly empty. Stars rarely collide. Instead, their orbits stretch and reshape, forming new patterns and structures. In the local group, our Milky Way shares space with Andromeda and dozens of smaller companions, all slowly converging. One day, far in the future, they will merge into a single luminous form. Galaxies, it seems, find comfort in company, pulled together across endless distance, each one part of a greater, quiet congregation of light. When galaxies collide, they do not destroy each other. They create something new. Their stars pass safely, but their gases mix, compressing into clouds that ignite with fresh starlight. The result is a bridge, a glowing connection between once distant worlds. These collisions reshape galaxies into spirals, rings, and tidal tails that stretch for hundreds of thousands of light years. What looks like chaos is really rebirth, the universe recycling its own brilliance. Even the Milky Way will one day collide with Andromeda, merging into a new galaxy bathed in light. No sound will mark the event, only the slow blending of colors and motion. It is a reminder that destruction in the cosmos is rarely final. It is simply another form of creation, written in gravity's patient hand. The shapes of galaxies are not random. They are memories written by cosmic winds, spirals, ellipses, and irregular clouds all tell stories of turbulence and time. When young galaxies were filled with hot gas and newborn stars, powerful stellar winds and supernova blasts sculpted their forms. Some twisted into graceful spirals, others stretched into elongated shapes, and some broke apart into chaotic clusters. These galactic winds carried metals and dust outward, cooling space and planting the seeds for future generations of stars. Even billions of years later, their motion can still be traced in the faint streams of gas surrounding galaxies. The Milky Way's spiral arms, the warped disks of distant galaxies, all are echoes of those ancient tempests. The universe remembers through form, and every curve of starlight is a fossil of wind that once shaped the dark into beauty. Surrounding the Milky Way is an immense, invisible halo made mostly of dark matter. Though it cannot be seen, its gravity defines everything we know. It extends far beyond the visible disk, forming a spherical shell that anchors our galaxy's motion and holds its stars together. Without it, the Milky Way's rotation would tear it apart. Within this halo also drifts thin gas, ancient star clusters, and the remnants of galaxies long absorbed. Astronomers detect its presence by observing how stars move faster than visible matter alone can explain. The halo is not emptiness, it is the hidden framework of our home, the unseen structure that carries light through the void. When we look up at the sky, we see only the bright core of something much larger. Wrapped in quiet, invisible strength, cosmic dust, though tiny, is the sculptor of stars, formed from the ashes of dying suns. It drifts through space in delicate clouds. Over time, gravity gathers these grains, and they begin to clump, compress, and warm. Light from nearby stars illuminates them, revealing vast nebulae, the nurseries of the cosmos. Inside these glowing regions, pressure rises until fusion begins, and new suns ignite. Every shining star is born from the remains of others, a perfect cycle of destruction and creation. The dust that dims starlight also makes it possible. It is both veil and womb. When we see a nebula shimmering in color, we are watching ancient light remade into future fire. Even our own sun was once shaped by dust like this. Proof that beauty often begins in what seems too small to matter. Our Milky Way belongs to a small gathering of galaxies called the Local Group. It drifts through space alongside Andromeda, the Triangulum Galaxy, and dozens of dwarf companions bound together by gravity. This family moves through the cosmic web like a cluster of glowing islands on a dark sea. Though each galaxy spins to its own rhythm, their paths are connected and their fates entwined. In about 4 billion years, the Milky Way and Andromeda will merge, forming a new, larger galaxy. Beyond the Local Group lies emptiness, vast expanses where no starlight reaches. Yet within this small corner of the cosmos, motion and connection never cease. The Local Group is our quiet neighborhood in the infinite city of space, where every light we see is both distant and near, both solitary and part of something greater. Gravity is the thread that sews galaxies together, holding them in delicate tension across unimaginable distances. It keeps stars orbiting their centers, binds clusters into webs, and connects everything through invisible pull. Without gravity's steady hand, the universe would unravel into chaos. It is not a force of noise or speed, but of patience, shaping the cosmos through slow, inevitable motion. Galaxies stretch and sway under its influence, forming patterns that last for billions of years. Every orbit, every rotation, is a gesture of balance motion held just before collapse. Gravity does not demand attention, it simply persists, quiet and constant, turning emptiness into order. It is the universe's most enduring thread, weaving light and darkness together into one continuous fabric that never tears, only flows. Light behaves as both wave and particle, an ancient paradox that glows quietly across the fabric of existence. Sometimes it moves like a ripple through water, spreading gently and bending around obstacles. Other times, it arrives as a photon, a single spark carrying energy in precise, tiny packets. This duality confused even Einstein, yet it is what allows us to see, to measure, to understand. Every color, every shadow is the result of light's constant shape-shifting between form and freedom. It travels without sound, without rest, yet touches everything it meets. In that strange balance, light reveals a truth about the universe itself, that opposites can coexist, that being two things at once is not contradiction but harmony. Every photon that brushes your skin tonight carries both motion and stillness, particle and wave, science and mystery, all shining in perfect peace. When astronomers look at starlight through a prism, they see more than color, they see fingerprints. Each element absorbs light at specific wavelengths, leaving dark lines in the star's spectrum. By reading these lines, scientists can determine what a star is made of, how hot it burns, and even how fast it moves. Without touching a single atom, we can know the chemistry of suns billions of miles away. The spectrum is the language of light, translating physics into pattern. Hydrogen hums in red, sodium sings in yellow, helium glows in blue. Every star speaks through this silent code, its light carrying secrets across centuries. When that light reaches Earth, it tells us not only what stars are, but what we are made of, the same elements, written in the same glowing script that binds everything in space together. Nebulae shimmer in colors that the human eye cannot see. Their gases, hydrogen, oxygen, sulfur, emit light in wavelengths beyond our limited vision. Through specialized cameras, these invisible hues are revealed as vast tapestries of red, green, and violet. What we see in photographs is not false color but translated beauty. The universe painted into our perception. Each tone corresponds to an element, to a physical process, to the quiet chemistry of creation. Within these glowing clouds, new stars are born, their energy lighting the gas from within like lanterns in mist. The true sky is far richer than our senses allow. We perceive only a fraction of its radiance, yet in dreams, perhaps, we see closer to truth, a cosmos alive with color, invisible by day but endless at night, glowing softly beyond the limits of sight. A photon's journey begins in the heart of a star, where fusion releases it into a dense sea of particles. It bounces endlessly, traveling only millimeters at a time for thousands of years before finally escaping into open space. Once free, it races at the speed of light, crossing millions or billions of years to reach a distant world. Some photons never find a surface. They drift forever in expanding darkness. Others end their journey in an instant, striking a leaf, an ocean, or your skin. The light you see tonight may have begun its voyage before life existed on Earth. When it arrives, it brings both history and warmth, proof that nothing truly disappears, only travels farther. Every photon is a message written in time, carrying the memory of where it came from and the quiet persistence of everything that still shines. Infrared light is warmth, made visible, a gentle glow that slips through the coldest emptiness. While visible light bounces off dust and gas, infrared passes through, revealing what lies hidden: stars forming inside dark nebulae, planets circling unseen. It is the light of heat itself, emitted by everything that is not entirely cold. When astronomers observe in infrared, they are seeing the universe's quiet background hum, the slow exhalation of cosmic warmth. Even the faint afterglow of the Big Bang still radiates in this spectrum, stretched thin by time. To our eyes, it is invisible, but its presence fills every direction, soft and steady. Infrared light reminds us that the universe never stops glowing, it only shifts its tone. What looks like darkness is simply warmth, too subtle for sight, a whisper of fire moving endlessly through the deep. Ultraviolet light is the sculptor of the cosmos, both artist and flame. Born from the hottest stars, it carries energy strong enough to shape and destroy. It ionizes gas clouds, carving vast regions of glowing hydrogen where new stars will emerge. Yet the same radiation can strip molecules apart, burning away fragile matter. It is creation through cleansing, a cosmic fire that clears space for life to begin elsewhere. On Earth, our atmosphere filters most of it, sparing us from its power while letting a soft trace paint the sky blue. In space, ultraviolet light draws invisible outlines around nebulae, illuminating their edges like ink on paper. It reminds us that beauty often comes from contrast, from the dance between destruction and renewal, between heat and silence. Through ultraviolet light, the universe sketches its own luminous anatomy. Bright and fierce and alive, X-rays emerge from the universe's hidden skeleton, the bones of dying stars and the hearts of black holes. They are produced where matter is crushed, heated to millions of degrees as it spirals inward at impossible speed. These rays reveal what ordinary light cannot: the outlines of collapsed suns, the glow of neutron stars, the turbulence inside distant galaxies. To detect them, astronomers must send telescopes above Earth's atmosphere, for X-rays never reach the ground. In those high, quiet orbits, machines capture whispers from the most extreme corners of creation. Each pulse of radiation marks the end of something once brilliant, yet it also maps the structure beneath the visible, the framework of heat and gravity that holds everything together. X-rays speak softly but truthfully, showing that even death in the cosmos has its own steady light. Gamma rays are the lightning of creation, brief flashes of unimaginable energy that outshine entire galaxies. They erupt when massive stars collapse or when neutron stars collide, releasing torrents of radiation in moments shorter than a heartbeat. For an instant, they reveal the raw power of physics, uncontained. These bursts can travel across the universe, reaching Earth as faint signals that still carry the violence of their birth. Scientists study them to understand the origins of matter, the behavior of black holes, and the hidden mechanics of cosmic explosions. Yet beneath their ferocity lies purpose. They forge heavy elements, spread energy, and seed galaxies with new potential. Gamma rays are the universe shouting, then falling silent again, leaving behind only traces of brilliance. In those fleeting sparks, creation renews itself, and the dark remembers how to shine. Redshift is how we read the universe's expansion, a subtle stretching of light as space itself grows. When galaxies move away, their light waves lengthen, sliding toward the red end of the spectrum. The farther they are, the more their colors fade into crimson silence. This shift is not motion through space, but of space, the distance between every photon slowly widening. By measuring redshift, astronomers can trace time backward, seeing galaxies as they were billions of years ago. It is a cosmic clock written in color, a map of motion drawn by light itself. Even the faintest beams reaching us tonight are stretched messages from an earlier universe. Every shade of red in the night sky whispers the same truth. Everything drifts apart, yet everything remains connected by the light that never stops returning home. Light is the oldest storyteller in the universe. Long before words, before sound, it carried the memory of creation across darkness. Every photon is a page of that ancient narrative, written in color, frequency, and time. From the birth of stars to the fading of galaxies, light records everything. Nothing escapes its observation. When we look at the night sky, we are reading history as it travels. Some stars we see no longer exist, yet their stories continue, still arriving after their sources have gone silent. Light does not age, it only moves forward, carrying messages for anyone patient enough to listen. It teaches that the past is not lost, it simply shines from farther away. The universe speaks in brightness, and through every beam that reaches us, it quietly says, I remember. Planets begin as dust, tiny grains left behind from dying stars. In the swirling disks of newborn systems, these particle collide, stick, and grow into pebbles, then rocks, then worlds. Gravity does the rest, gathering matter into spheres that orbit their stars, like thoughts around a flame. The iron in your blood, the silicon beneath your feet, all were once drifting through space before finding a home inside a planet's crust. Every mountain, ocean, and cloud is a recycled memory of earlier suns. The universe wastes nothing. It reshapes what already exists into new forms of wonder. When we look at the planets through telescopes, we're seeing the art of gravity and time sculpture in slow motion. Stardust still falls around us, a reminder that creation never stopped. It simply changed scale, turning cosmic ashes into the quiet solidity of home. Exoplanets move in strange, precise harmonies, like dancers bound by invisible music. Some orbit in perfect resonance, one planet circling twice for every 3 orbits of another, their paths never crossing. Others tilt at odd angles or trace elongated loops, pulled by unseen companions. These patterns are not random, they are gravity's choreography, refined over eons. In the darkness between stars, entire systems move, as if listening to the same distant beat. Astronomers detect their rhythm by measuring faint dips in starlight or tiny wobbles in a star's motion. Each discovery expands our sense of possible worlds, hot Jupiters, frozen Neptunes, and Earth-like spheres spinning to unfamiliar tunes. The cosmos is not chaos but quiet order, and in the orbits of distant planets, we can almost hear the melody that holds the night together. Beyond the outer planets of our solar system lie giants cloaked in gas, their storms centuries old, and their moons quietly extraordinary. Beneath the icy crusts of Europa, Enceladus, and Titan, entire oceans move in darkness. Warmed by tidal heat and the slow churn of gravity, these hidden seas may hold chemistry capable of life. untouched by sunlight. The gas giants themselves, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, act as protectors. They're gravity-deflecting comets that might otherwise strike Earth. Yet within their orbits, they hide worlds of quiet mystery. Tiny moons with more water than all our oceans combined. Beneath the ice, hydrothermal vents may glow, feeding unseen ecosystems in eternal night. The giants roar above, but their smallest companions whisper the oldest question: what else might be alive out there? Beneath layers of silence and time, not all planets belong to stars. Some have been cast out of their systems, drifting through interstellar space, worlds without suns. Without dawn, these rogue planets wander endlessly, frozen yet complete, their paths guided only by gravity's faint hand. Though light never warms them, their cores may still glow with leftover heat from formation. Some could even shelter subsurface oceans beneath ice. Small pockets of warmth in infinite cold. To travel between stars is to be forgotten. Yet these planets endure, carrying their atmospheres, their storms, their solitude. They remind us that belonging is not required for existence, that even in exile, a world can persist. If you could stand on one, you'd see no sunrise, nor constellations, only the faint glow of distant galaxies lighting the frozen plains of a starless sky. Small, quiet worlds live on the edge of survival. Their gravity barely holds an atmosphere. Their skies are thin and fragile, easily lost to space. Yet within that vulnerability lies beauty. Mercury's surface bakes in silence. Mars wears a veil of dust. Pluto shimmers with frozen nitrogen beneath a faint blue haze. These places are reminders that life and stillness are both forms of endurance. A thin atmosphere cannot hold sound for long, so every gust of wind becomes a whisper. Every sunrise, a slow unveiling. In those fragile skies, sunlight scatters gently, painting faint halos and long shadows across the surface. The smaller the world, the longer it remembers peace. Though their air is scarce and their warmth faint, they persist, quietly tiny testaments to the universe's patience, breathing softly where almost nothing should. Across the galaxy, there are worlds so familiar, they almost feel like home, Earth-like planets that breathe light from distant suns. Some orbit in the habitable zone, where temperatures allow oceans to shimmer and clouds to form. Their skies may glow with strange colors. Their days last longer, but their rhythm mirrors ours. On these planets, light filters through alien atmospheres, feeding chemistry that could spark life. We cannot yet walk their surfaces, but through telescopes, we catch faint signatures: water vapor, oxygen, carbon dioxide, hints of potential breath. These worlds remind us that life's story might not be confined to Earth. It could be a universal pattern, waiting wherever warmth and patience coexist. Each Earth-like planet is a possibility, a reflection of our own fragility written in orbit around another sun, glowing softly in the dark, breathing light across the silence of space. Some planets are locked in a strange embrace, showing only one face to their stars forever. On one side, endless day blazes under constant light. On the other, eternal night frees us in darkness. Between them lies a twilight zone, a narrow band where dusk never ends, and temperatures balance between extremes. These tidally locked worlds move in perfect synchrony, their rotation matching their orbit. To stand on such a planet would be to live in perpetual sunset. the star unmoving in the sky, yet even here, life might adopt hidden beneath clouds, deep within oceans, or thriving where light meets shadow. These worlds teach that equilibrium can exist even in contrast, that balance can take many forms. The universe, in its quiet genius, finds harmony, not in sameness, but in the dialogue between fire and frost. Super-Earths are planets larger than our own, their gravity heavy enough to shape alien skies. With thicker atmospheres and denser cores, they hold their air close, creating storms that could last centuries. From their surfaces, sunsets might stretch across horizons for hours, light bending through layers of haze and color. Gravity there would press you gently downward, making every step feel anchored to the planet's immense heart. These worlds blur the line between familiar and foreign, too massive for comfort, yet still solid, still Earth-like. Some may be rocky with oceans of molten glass, others calm and temperate, waiting quietly for discovery. The hidden gravity of these giants whispers of strength and endurance, a different version of home built on pressure and light. They remind us that every world carries its own rhythm, its own sky, its own kind of peace. Planets do not always stay where they begin. Over billions of years, they drift inward or outward, migrating through their systems like slow-moving thoughts. These journeys reshape orbits, tilt moons, and rearrange the architecture of entire solar families. Gas giants may move closer to their stars, scattering smaller worlds behind them, while others wander outward into cold exile. This migration explains why no two systems are alike. Every star holds a different memory of motion. Sometimes planets find new balance, settling into harmony. Other times they are cast away, their paths looping endlessly through space. To the universe, such shifts are normal gravity thinking aloud, experimenting with order and chaos. In that slow rearrangement lies beauty, the cosmos never static, always rewriting itself, letting every world trace its own quiet path through time. There is a kind of beauty in solitude, and nowhere is it clearer than in a planet without a home, cast adrift after gravitational upheaval. These lonely worlds wander starless through interstellar night. No sunrise warms their surface. No orbit defines their year. Yet they are not entirely dead. Their cores may still glow faintly, their atmospheres thick with lingering heat. Some may harbor oceans beneath ice, sealed in darkness, waiting. If you stood on one, you would see only the faint shimmer of distant galaxies, each one a reminder of where light still lives. The loneliness of these planets is not sorrow but serenity, proof that even in isolation, existence continues. They drift without destination, guided by nothing but momentum and time, carrying the quiet dignity of worlds that learn to shine without a sun. Einstein revealed that time is not constant but bends wherever mass exists. A planet, a star, even your own body curves the space around it, slowing the passage of time ever so slightly. The stronger the gravity, the slower the clock. Near a black hole, a second can stretch into hours, while far away, it continues undisturbed. This discovery transformed our understanding of the cosmos. Time is not an independent river, but part of the same fabric as space. Gravity does not pull, it warps. Every orbit, every fall, every sunrise is the result of curved time guiding matter along its simplest path. When you stand on Earth, you are not held down by force, but following the slow bend of space beneath your feet. Einstein's insight showed that the universe is not made of separate parts, but of one continuous shape, flexible, patient, and profoundly alive. Gravity is not a force, but the geometry of existence itself. Imagine a trampoline stretched tight place, a heavy object in the center, and the fabric curves. Smaller objects roll toward it, not because they are pulled, but because they follow the shape created by mass. Space works the same way, bending gently under weight. Stars, planets, and galaxies all reshape the cosmic fabric, guiding the motion of everything around them. Light itself bends when passing near this curvature, revealing that even nothingness has form. To understand gravity is to realize that the universe is sculpted by presence, not by pressure. Every motion we see is simply the straightest possible path through a curved reality. The quiet grace of geometry replaces the noise of force, showing that existence flows not through conflict, but through the gentle architecture of space and time entwined. The twin paradox begins with a simple idea. If one twin travels near the speed of light, while the other stays home, time will pass differently for them both. To the traveler, the journey seems short. To the one waiting, decades may have gone by. When they reunite, one is younger than the other. This isn't illusion, but the physical consequence of relativity. Time itself stretches and compresses depending on motion. Like a fabric being pulled and released, it means that past, present, and future are not fixed moments but perspectives shaped by speed and gravity. To move quickly is to taste a slower world, to linger in an almost eternal now. The paradox reminds us that time is personal, that every heartbeat is part of a larger, shifting rhythm, and that even identical lives can drift apart in the silent current of light. A black hole is a moment frozen in space-time, where gravity has folded reality into itself as matter collapses beyond its limit. Time slows to a crawl, finally stopping at the event horizon. To an outside observer, nothing ever truly falls in. It simply fades and pauses forever at the edge. Yet, from within, everything continues crushed, compacted, perhaps transformed. Black holes are not empty. They are the densest possible expression of existence, where space and time exchange roles. They hold the last whisper of stars, the compressed memory of entire suns. To look at one is to see an absence that is not void but presence too deep to escape. In their darkness lies paradox endings that never finish, silence that still hums. They are the universe's reminders that even stillness can have infinite depth. When two massive objects like black holes or neutron stars collide, they send ripples through the fabric of space-time gravitational waves, echoes of motion traveling across the cosmos. These waves stretch and compress everything they pass through, though so subtly we can barely detect them. In 2015, scientists finally listened to one, capturing the faint tremor of a merger that happened over 1 billion years ago. It was as if the universe itself whispered, confirming what Einstein once imagined. Gravitational waves carry no light, no sound, only information, the memory of great events moving through darkness. Each wave that reaches us is a relic of motion, proof that even space can remember. They remind us that nothing in the universe happens quietly. Every collision, every orbit, every shift of mass leaves a trace that ripples outward. Forever, inside a dying star, time begins to slow as gravity grows stronger during collapse. Every heartbeat, every vibration stretches thinner until seconds lose their meaning. To an outside observer, the fall seems to take forever, but for the star itself, everything happens in an instant. The immense pressure bends space-time so tightly that time itself becomes viscous, heavy, reluctant to move. This phenomenon, called time dilation, means that the deeper into gravity's grip you go, the slower the universe becomes. In the final moments before a black hole forms, light can barely escape, and the star's death freezes in slow motion. What appears like an explosion from afar is, in reality, a drawn-out whisper in space-time. The dying star does not vanish suddenly. It fades through stretched time, dissolving gently into its own gravity, leaving behind an echo that lasts long after the light is gone. The event horizon is silence made visible, the boundary where light itself gives up. Beyond it, no signal can escape. No time can continue outward. It marks the edge of the knowable, where physics stops being language and becomes mystery. To an observer, anything falling toward it slows endlessly, frozen just above the surface. Yet from within, the fall continues naturally, unnoticed, as if nothing changed. This contradiction makes the event horizon both terrifying and beautiful. It is the surface of infinity, the visible skin of absence. Around it, matter glows fiercely as it resists the pull, painting the darkness with a final burst of color before surrendering to quiet. The event horizon reminds us that even silence can have structure, that the universe has borders not of matter, but of understanding, a place where the visible ends and the infinite begins. Wormholes are the universe's speculative shortcuts, bridges in space-time that could, in theory, connect distant points instantly, predicted by Einstein's equations. They exist more in mathematics than in observation. To imagine one is to picture a tunnel folded through dimensions where distance itself collapses. Yet every attempt to stabilize such a bridge requires matter with negative energy, something we have never found. If wormholes exist, they may flicker open only for moments before collapsing again. Silent doors the cosmos briefly unlocks. They symbolize both curiosity and humility, proof that nature allows possibilities our tools cannot yet reach, whether real or not. Wormholes remind us that space is flexible, imagination essential, and travel need not always mean motion. They are the dream of the universe itself, a thought experiment written in the fabric of gravity, waiting quietly for a traveler brave enough to listen. Gravity sculpts with patience beyond imagination. It does not rush. It shapes galaxies, stars, and planets over billions of years with steady persistence. Mountains rise and fall under its pull. Oceans form and flow, and entire worlds trace paths set by its invisible hand. Unlike fire or wind, gravity needs no movement to act. It works through presence, through the simple truth of mass existing. It binds everything without touch, carving elegance out of chaos. Every orbit, every curve of light near a star, every spiral galaxy is its artwork. Gravity teaches that creation can be slow, that permanence is made not through force, but through endurance. It is the universe's most patient sculptor, chiseling form out of emptiness with the gentlest of tools, time itself. In every falling leaf, every spinning moon, we witness its quiet devotion to balance. Time is like a river that never repeats itself. You can step into it once, but when you do again, both you and the water have changed. The flow of time carries everything forward, never looping, never pausing, yet always present. Even when moments feel still, they are moving underneath, atoms vibrating, galaxy drifting, thoughts unfolding. We live inside this current, shaped by its direction and speed. In some places, near gravity or light, the river slows. Elsewhere, it rushes freely through emptiness. We can measure it, mark it, even try to resist it, but never escape it. Time does not ask permission to move. It simply continues, carrying stars, lives, and memories downstream. In the end, every second we experience is both arrival and departure, proof that existence is motion and that to live is to drift gently in the endless flow of now. Nebulae are the wombs of the universe, vast clouds of gas and dust where stars are born. Within their folds, gravity gathers material until pressure ignites fusion, lighting new suns in the darkness. These clouds are both destruction and creation. They are built from the remains of dead stars and become the birthplaces of future ones. Some glow softly from within, others reflect the light of nearby giants, painting space in hues of pink, blue, and gold. Through telescopes, they appear almost alive, filaments twisting, shadows drifting like breath. Every nebula is a cradle and a grave, proof that the cosmos renews itself in cycles of light and dust. When you gaze upon one, you are looking at both the past and the future of the universe, captured in the same shimmering veil of endless becoming. The Horsehead, the Orion, and the Veil, each nebula is a different kind of silence. The Horsehead stands like a shadow against the glow of distant stars, sculpted from cold dust that swallows light. The Orion Nebula hums with energy, a nursery for thousands of newborn suns shining through its gas. The Veil, by contrast, is the ghost of a supernova, the delicate remains of an explosion, long faded. Together, they tell the story of transformation, darkness into light, life into memory, Chaos into calm. In these silent shapes, we see the many moods of creation, stillness, motion, rebirth. The universe speaks quietly through them, not in words, but in color and shadow. Each nebula is a sentence written in starlight, its meaning changing every time we look. Molecular clouds are heavier than imagination, can grasp dense regions of gas and dust that stretch for hundreds of light years. Within them, temperatures drop near absolute zero, allowing atoms to cling together into complex molecules. These are the cold factories of creation, where carbon, oxygen, and nitrogen combine into the seeds of life. Despite their size, they are almost invisible, their shapes revealed only by the faint radio signals they emit. In these quiet depths, gravity works slowly, pulling the material tighter until stars begin to form. It is a process so gradual, it seems timeless. Yet from that stillness, entire galaxies are built. Molecular clouds remind us that mass does not need motion to create power. Sometimes the heaviest things are the quietest, and the densest places are filled not with noise, but with the calm anticipation of light. Cosmic dust drifts like ash from ancient fires, tiny grains that carry the memory of stars. Though barely visible, this dust shapes the universe's beauty. It scatters light into color, reflects starlight into nebulae, and absorbs radiation. Glowing softly in infrared warmth, every particle has traveled for eons, through explosions, collisions, and calm fragments of what once burned, now serving as the seeds for what will shine again. In distant galaxies, dust forms glowing lanes that trace spiral arms and outline the silhouettes of creation. Even our own planet was born from such debris. Each atom of iron, carbon, and oxygen, once part of a star's final breath. Cosmic dust is not waste. It is inheritance, the fine powder of eternity drifting through space, waiting patiently to be shaped once more into brilliance. Hydrogen is the universe's quiet foundation, the simplest and most abundant element, making up nearly 3/4 of all matter. It is the first building block of everything that followed, from stars to oceans to life itself. In its pure form, hydrogen is invisible. Yet, when gathered in vast clouds, it becomes the raw material for creation. Under pressure, it fuses into helium, releasing light, the process that powers every star. Each breath of sunlight, each flicker of fire, begins with this humble atom. Even today, hydrogen fills the space between galaxies, a faint gas connecting everything through unseen threads. Though small and silent, it is the true architect of the cosmos. Without it, there would be no color, no warmth, no sound, only darkness. Hydrogen proves that simplicity is not weakness. It is the beginning of everything that ever was and ever will be. Interstellar winds drift across the galaxy, carrying whispers of what stars once were. These vast flows of gas and dust move through space like invisible rivers, spreading elements forged in stellar furnaces. Within them are traces of carbon, oxygen, and iron, the same ingredients that make up planets, oceans, and blood. Though there is no air to breathe, the scent of chemistry still travels, an unseen perfume left by dying suns. Instruments aboard spacecraft have detected these compounds, revealing that the galaxy is not empty, but filled with quiet fragrance. Molecules floating between stars, the wind itself is slow, gentle, and constant, sculpting nebulae, shaping clouds, and delivering the raw materials of life across impossible distances. In every direction, these cosmic breezes carry memory, the breath of creation moving softly through the dark, binding distant worlds in a single, endless exhalation of stardust. Comets are the frozen archives of the solar nursery, time capsules from the dawn of our system, formed from ice, rock, and dust. They preserve the original ingredients that built the planets. When a comet approaches the sun, its surface warms, releasing gas and vapor that trail behind it like a glowing signature. Each one carries a chemical record billions of years old, untouched since creation. By studying their composition, scientists can glimpse the conditions that shaped Earth itself, the water we drink, the carbon in our cells, the nitrogen in our air. Some theories even suggest that comets delivered these elements to our young planet, sowing the seeds for life. When you see one streak across the sky, you are watching history melt and shine, a frozen memory briefly ignited before returning to the quiet of the outer dark. The universe is a master recycler. When stars they do not vanish. They return their material to the cosmic sea. Supernova explosions scatter heavy elements into space, enriching the interstellar medium with iron, carbon, and oxygen. From that debris, new stars form, surrounded by planets born from the ashes of the old. Every atom in your body once belonged to another star, another age. The calcium in your bones, the oxygen in your lungs, the gold in your jewelry, all forged in furnaces that no longer exist. The cycle never ends. The cosmos feeds itself endlessly, turning death into fuel, collapse into renewal. It is a system of perfect generosity, where nothing is wasted and everything becomes something else. In the quiet churn of galaxies, matter remembers its purpose: to return, to transform, and to shine again. Between galaxies and stars lies a thin mist, the interstellar medium, delicate as breath. Vast as eternity, it is made of gas, dust, and plasma, so diffuse that a cubic meter might contain only a few atoms. Yet, across space, it adds up to immense mass. This mist connects everything, filling the gaps between systems like threads in a cosmic fabric. Light from distant stars passes through it, scattering, reddening, softening, giving the universe its deep, glowing texture. Without it, the night sky would be sharper, colder, less alive. Within its invisible density, new stars are born, and old ones leave their remains. It is the quiet background of existence, the unseen ocean that holds all motion together. In every direction you look, that mist is there, carrying whispers of light and memory between every point in space. In the darkness between stars, the ingredients of life drift and wait. Molecules like water, methane, and amino acids form on icy grains of dust. Sheltered from radiation by distance and shadow, over millions of years, these compounds accumulate, traveling through nebulae until gravity gathers them into new worlds. When they fall onto young planets, they become the seeds of biology, the silent beginning of breath. Even now, spacecraft and telescopes have detected these molecules floating in interstellar clouds, proving that the chemistry of life is not rare but universal. The void is not empty, it is full of potential, slow and patient. In the stillness between suns, creation rests in scattered form, waiting for the right warmth, the right spark, the right planet to begin again. Life, it seems, was always written into the dust of the cosmos. When Edwin Hubble looked through his telescope in the 1920s, he found something astonishing. Galaxies were not just moving through space, space itself was expanding. The light from distant galaxies was stretched. Its wavelength lengthened into red, showing they were moving away from us. This meant the universe had no fixed edge, no center of motion. Everything was receding from everything else. Hubble's discovery transformed our view of reality. The cosmos was not static, but alive and growing, like a slow inhale without end. Every second, new space is created between galaxies, not pushing them apart, but carrying them. This expansion continues even now, silent and invisible, written in the light that reaches our telescopes. When you look at the stars tonight, you are seeing the echo of that first realization. The universe not standing still, but breathing outward through time itself. Beyond the limits of our telescopes lies the cosmic horizon, the edge of what we can ever see. It marks the boundary where light has not yet had time to reach us since the beginning of the universe. Everything beyond it is hidden not because it doesn't exist, but because time itself has not allowed its light to arrive. The universe may extend infinitely, yet our view is finite. Wrapped in a glowing sphere of ancient radiation, that horizon is constantly moving as space expands, revealing more, even as other regions drift forever out of reach. It is a reminder of both wonder and humility. we can observe only the visible chapter of a far longer story. The cosmos does not end where sight fails. It continues, silent and vast, waiting patiently in the dark beyond knowing. Dark energy remains one of the greatest mysteries, a kind of pressure without touch, a force that accelerates the universe's expansion. It fills all of space evenly, pushing galaxies apart faster and faster. Though we cannot see or measure it directly, its discovery came not from its presence, but from its effect. Light from distant supernovae showed the expansion speeding up instead of slowing down. Scientists do not know what dark energy truly is. It could be a property of space itself, our hidden field, or something even stranger. Yet its influence defines the fate of the cosmos. Without it, expansion might have stopped. With it, everything drifts further into distance. Dark energy is the quiet pulse of growth, invisible and unyielding, reminding us that not all forces move by contact. Some shape reality simply by existing everywhere at once. The farther a galaxy is, the faster it moves away. This strange rule, discovered by Hubble, is not because the galaxies are traveling through space, but because space itself is stretching between them. The fabric of the universe expands uniformly, carrying galaxies along like dust on a rising tide. Nearby, the effect is subtle. Far away, it becomes profound, turning light redder and dimmer as it travels. This motion is not explosion but continuation, a gentle widening of distances written into the structure of reality. It means the universe has no center. Every point sees itself as still, while everything else recedes. What we perceive as motion is really time unfolding through expansion. Each moment adds new space between stars, a slow separation that defines everything we see. The farther you look, the older and faster the universe appears, fleeing endlessly into its own future. Imagine the universe as a balloon being slowly inflated. Galaxies are like dots on its surface. As the balloon expands, the dots move farther apart, though none travel across the surface itself. This is how space grows. Every point recedes from every other, not by motion but by stretching. There is no center, no outside, just expansion within expansion. If you stood anywhere on that balloon, the view would look the same, everything drifting away. The geometry is simple yet profound, showing that distance can increase without movement, and growth can occur in silence. The universe expands not into something else but into itself, creating room for time, light, and life. That image of the balloon is more than metaphor. It is a meditation on existence, a reminder that change can be smooth, endless, and utterly still all at once. The observable universe is only a small island floating in an infinite sea. What we can see is limited by the age of light, about 13.8 billion years. But because space itself has stretched, the farthest galaxies we observe are now more than 40 billion light-years away. Beyond that horizon lies the unobservable, perhaps infinite expanse, where countless other galaxies drift unseen. Everything we know, stars, atoms, the history exists within this bubble of light, expanding yet finite to our eyes. The universe may have no true edge, only a limit to what light can reach us. We are passengers on a bright island, surrounded by endless dark, gazing outward at waves of time washing in. The boundary of sight is not the boundary of existence. It is simply how far the universe has allowed us to remember. Expansion doesn't just create distance, it creates time itself. As space stretches, New moments are born. Each second, a fresh slice of reality added to the cosmos. The flow of time is tied to the rhythm of growth. Without expansion, the universe would be frozen, static, without sequence or change. Every galaxy drifting apart marks not only spatial movement, but the unfolding of history. Time is the measure of expansion, the pulse that allows events to separate, to happen, to end. In this way, the universe is not merely spreading outward, it is evolving forward, creating the conditions for memory and motion. Each instant you live is space widening, a new interval written into the cosmic fabric. To exist at all is to participate in that continual unfolding, where distance and duration are one and the same breath of creation. As the universe grows, it cools a slow exhalation, lasting billions of years. When the cosmos began, it was blindingly hot, dense beyond comprehension. But as space expanded, heat spread thin, and temperature dropped like a sigh across eternity. Galaxies formed, stars ignited, and still the cooling continued. Today, the average temperature of space is just above absolute zero, a whisper of warmth left from the Big Bang. Everything that burns will one day fade into this quiet equilibrium, where energy evens out and light softens into invisibility. Yet this cooling is not decay, it is the universe resting after its long creation. The pace is so slow that life, stars, and worlds can thrive within it. The cosmos cools not in haste, but in grace, lowering its flame gently, as if preparing to dream again. The future of the cosmos depends on its expansion. If dark energy continues its steady push, galaxies will drift farther apart until their light no longer reaches one another, a night growing deeper with time. Stars will exhaust their fuel, fade into white dwarfs, and cool into black embers. Black holes will slowly evaporate, releasing their energy back into the void. Yet there are other possibilities. A great reversal where gravity overcomes expansion, collapsing everything into a new beginning, or endless cycles of birth and renewal. Each scenario is a different melody of the same theme: motion, transformation, silence. Whatever path unfolds, the universe will not end abruptly, but dissolve gently into stillness or bloom again into light. In its rhythm, there is neither tragedy nor triumph, only continuation, the patient breathing of eternity. Every second, space is born again. Expansion is not a past event, but an ongoing creation, the universe still making itself moment by moment. Between galaxies, new distances appear, tiny increments of emptiness that didn't exist before. Time is the record of this continual emergence, the measure of how existence keeps unfolding. You are living inside that growth, surrounded by the quiet miracle of reality, expanding beneath your awareness. What feels still is always changing. What seems eternal is constantly renewed. The stars, the void, even your thoughts are part of this pulse, the endless becoming of space itself. Every instant is both new and ancient. Another breath in the life of the cosmos. To live is to witness the universe creating itself again and again, endlessly, softly, without sound, in the smallest scales of reality. Observation seems to shape what is seen. Quantum physics shows that particles exist as possibilities until measured, collapsing into specific states, only when observed. This raises a profound question. Does consciousness play a role in creation itself? Perhaps reality is not fixed, but fluid, forming in response to awareness. The act of seeing might not just reveal but define, even if observation means interaction, not human thought. The effect remains astonishing. The universe behaves differently when watched. This idea bridges science and mystery, suggesting that perception and existence are intertwined. Maybe the cosmos is not a stage, but a mirror, reflecting its observers in every atom. Each glance, each measurement could be the universe noticing itself. A moment where matter and mind briefly meet in the quiet intimacy of awareness becoming form. Quantum entanglement connects particles across cosmic distances, binding their behavior in ways that defy logic. When two particles interact, they remain linked, so that a change in one instantly affects the other, even light years apart. This connection seems to ignore time and distance, suggesting that the fabric of reality is more unified than we imagine. Experiments have confirmed it again and again, proving that information travels not through space, but through something deeper, a hidden order beneath everything. Perhaps entanglement is the universe's way of staying coherent, ensuring that even its farthest corners remember they belong to the same whole. Some physicists describe it as the spooky action at a distance Einstein could not accept. Yet it feels almost poetic, the cosmos whispering to itself, maintaining conversation between particles, stars, and minds across the silent gulf of infinity. When scientists mapped the cosmic web, the vast structure of galaxies and dark matter, they noticed something uncanny. Its filaments and clusters look strikingly similar to the neural networks of the human brain. Both systems are organized by nodes and connections, shaped by efficiency and flow. In each, information travels through pathways that balance density with openness. On vastly different scales, the patterns repeat the mind within. The cosmos without, though this resemblance may be coincidence, it stirs something ancient in us, the idea that the universe might think in its own way. Perhaps consciousness is not confined to biology, but emerges naturally wherever complexity reaches a certain depth. If the cosmos mirrors the brain, maybe it also mirrors thought itself, the universe as a living intelligence, endlessly reflecting, endlessly dreaming through the light of its own galaxies. Information may be the true currency of the universe, more fundamental than matter or energy. Every interaction, from colliding atoms to orbiting galaxies, transfers data, changing the state of what exists. In this view, the reality is a vast computation, continuously processing itself. Black holes store information on their surfaces. Quantum fields encode it in vibration, and light carries it across space. Even entropy, the measure of disorder, is simply a count of how much information has been lost or hidden. If everything is data, then existence is a grand conversation, unfolding bit by bit through time. You are both participant and message, made of information that once belonged to stars. The universe doesn't just expand, it communicates. Every photon, every pulse of gravity is a word in its language, a dialogue written in code, too vast to read, but simple enough to feel. Some scientists believe black holes may store every memory of the universe. When matter falls in, its physical form disappears, but the information it carried might remain encoded on the black hole's surface, a two-dimensional record of three-dimensional events. This idea, called the holographic principle, suggests that nothing is ever truly lost, only transformed. Every collapse could become an archive, every horizon a library of light. If true, the universe preserves its history in layers of invisible data, stacked across space-time. Perhaps even our own story is written somewhere on those dark boundaries, etched in gravity and time. Black holes, then, are not just ends but keepers, silent librarians, holding the memories of everything that ever was. In their perfect stillness lies the possibility that the cosmos forgets nothing. It only stores its recollections where no one can yet look. Between all particles lies the quantum vacuum, a sea that seems empty but hums with energy. Even in perfect darkness, it vibrates, a constant flicker of virtual particles appearing and vanishing. Some physicists suggest this restless field might connect everything. The background mind of the universe itself, consciousness, they speculate, could be tied to this quantum hum, each thought a resonance within the deeper silence of existence. Perhaps awareness is not produced by matter, but revealed through it, like light through glass. If the vacuum underlies all reality, then it may also underlie perception, the same field that births stars, giving rise to experience. The mind and the cosmos might share a single origin, stillness that moves, emptiness that knows. In that sense, consciousness is not separate from the universe's fabric. It is the soft vibration that makes even nothing feel alive. Some physicists quietly wonder if the universe dreams. They mean it not as poetry, but as physics, that reality may unfold like a self-generated story, patterns forming from within, guided by memory and imagination rather than randomness. Galaxies cluster like recurring thoughts, atoms repeat ancient symmetries. Consciousness, they suggest, may not be an accident inside the universe, but its method of expression. If so, every star is a neuron of an endless mind. Every photon, a fleeting idea of light. The dream is not linear or logical, yet it holds coherence laws, order, rhythm. When you sleep, your brain creates a world to explore. Perhaps the universe is doing the same on a cosmic scale. It dreams in matter, time, and energy, exploring itself through form. To awaken within it, even briefly, is to realize that you, too, are part of that eternal imagining. The line between observer and observed may be an illusion. In quantum mechanics, what is measured changes simply because it is seen. Observation collapses possibilities into form, suggesting that awareness and reality are entwined. You cannot separate the witness from the world. Witnessed each defines the other. This unity echoes through all scales. From atoms to galaxies, when you look at a star, you are not just receiving its light, you are completing an interaction that began billions of years ago. The star exists as light, and you, as perception, finish its creation. In that exchange, the universe recognizes itself. The observer and the observed are two sides of the same mirror, awareness reflecting awareness. Endlessly, every act of seeing, every thought about existence, is the cosmos momentarily turning inward, noticing that it shines. Could the universe itself be self-aware? Some thinkers propose that consciousness might arise not from complexity alone, but from the total interconnection of everything. In such a model, awareness is not confined to living beings. It pervades all of existence, an emergent property of the whole. Galaxies form like neural networks, gravity and energy acting as pathways of communication. From this view, humans are not observers of a distant cosmos, but cells in its vast mind. Each spark of thought, each emotion might be a ripple in a consciousness that spans space-time. The idea is bold, unprovable, yet deeply resonant. If the universe is aware, then every moment is mutual recognition, creation seeing itself, existence reflecting on being. Perhaps that is why we wonder at the stars, because the cosmos is wondering back, quietly, through us. Wonder is the mind's reflection of infinite space. It is what happens when awareness meets something too vast to grasp, yet too beautiful to ignore. Wonder suspends thought and expands silence, opening the same spaciousness inside us that fills the night sky. It is not confusion but connection, the recognition that the mystery we gaze upon is also within. The cosmos inspires it not because it is large, but because it mirrors our own depth. Each time you look upward and feel small, you are also touching something immense that understands itself through your eyes. Wonder keeps consciousness soft, curious, alive. It is how the universe ensures it never stops awakening. In every gasp of awe, every quiet question, infinity finds its reflection, the mind of a human being echoing the mind of the stars. Entropy is the quiet law that ensures everything moves toward balance. It measures how energy spreads, how order gives way to evenness. Over time, heat flows from hot to cold, structures dissolvent, and differences fade. It is not destruction, but diffusion, the universe's natural tendency to share. Stars burn, galaxies drift apart, and every system exchanges energy until all becomes uniform calm. Entropy does not rush, it works softly, transforming brilliance into rest. Even life depends on it, thriving in the temporary imbalance that allows motion and change. Without entropy, time would have no direction, everything would happen at once. It gives the arrow of history its point, ensuring that beginnings lead to endings, and endings to renewal. In its slow and inevitable unfolding, entropy reminds us that peace is not nothingness, but the quiet completion of everything that once was different. Heat death is the ultimate stillness, the imagined future when the universe cools so completely that time itself loses meaning. In this distant era, all stars will have burned out, all motion will have slowed, and every atom will rest in perfect equilibrium. No energy will remain to fuel creation or memory. Yet even this end is not dramatic. It is gentle, the universe sighing after an eternity of activity. To us, such a fate sounds bleak, but in another sense, it is the final balance nature seeks. In that silence, everything that ever existed will be evenly spread, every pulse of energy finally at peace. The cosmos will not vanish, it will rest. Its temperature even light dim but eternal. Heat death is the long sleep of reality, the soft pause after the last breath of time. Some scientists and philosophers imagine that the universe never truly ends but cycles endlessly, expanding and contracting in eternal rhythm. In this view, the cosmos breathes, a long inhale of creation followed by an exhale of collapse. Each rebirth begins with a new Big Bang, carrying traces of memory from the one before. Energy becomes matter. Matter becomes energy again. An infinite heartbeat of existence. The idea of cyclic universes brings comfort that destruction is never final, and every ending is only transition. It transforms the cold equations of cosmology into poetry, suggesting that even the universe rests and renews. If this is true, then we live in just one note of a timeless song. one pulse in an infinite cycle of light, becoming dark, dark, becoming light again, forever. The Big Crunch is gravity's long exhale, the hypothetical future, when the universe's expansion slows and reverses. Over trillions of years, galaxies would drift back together, their motion undone by attraction. Stars would collide, black holes merge, and heat rise again as everything folds inward. Eventually, all matter and energy could collapse into a single, dense pointer mirror of the beginning. From our perspective, time would seem to stop as space shrinks. Yet within that collapse might lie potential, a seed of the next creation. The Big Crunch is not annihilation but return, the universe gathering itself in a final embrace. Whether it will happen or not remains unknown, but the image endures, a cosmos inhaling after its long exhale, gravity drawing everything home, preparing once more to become light. The Big Bounce suggests that even collapse is not the end. In this model, when the universe contracts to its densest state, it does not vanish, but rebounds, expanding again in a new cycle of birth. Each bounce wipes away old structures, yet carries the essence of what came before: information, energy, possibility. It is cosmic renewal written into physics, creation reborn from its own ashes. The Big Bounce transforms finality into continuity, turning the end of one universe into the beginning of another. If true, the cosmos is eternal motion, breathing between silence and explosion, rest and awakening. Every cycle births new galaxies, new atoms, and perhaps new forms of life. The Big Bounce reminds us that nothing truly disappears. It transforms. The universe, like a heartbeat, pauses only to begin again, infinite, rhythmic, alive. Some theories suggest that black holes might not just destroy, they might create. When matter collapses beyond comprehension, its density and energy could form the conditions for a new universe inside. What we see as an end may be the birth of another reality, sealed off by the event horizon. From outside, nothing escapes. From within, space-time could expand anew, its own Big Bang blooming from the ashes of another cosmos. Each black hole might be a seed, growing unseen universes beyond our reach. If this is true, then our universe could have been born from one as well, the child of an ancient collapse, creation and destruction. It seems two are not opposites but continuations, energy folding inward only to blossom again. In this eternal recursion, black holes become wombs of infinity, dark passages through which light finds its next beginning. At the smallest imaginable scale, reality ripples like water, a restless surface called quantum foam. Space-time, which seems smooth to us, is actually a sea of constant fluctuation. Tiny bubbles of energy forming and vanishing in trillionths of a second. This foam is the ocean beneath everything, the foundation from which particles, fields, and forces arise. It is the hum beneath matter, the uncertainty that makes existence possible. Even emptiness is not empty but alive with potential. Within this quantum ocean, universes might flicker into being, most collapsing instantly, a few expanding into eternity. It is the purest expression of creation, something arising from almost nothing. Every atom, every photon, every moment floats on this invisible tide, proof that stability is an illusion. Beneath all order lies motion. Beneath silence a tremor, the quiet vibration of reality breathing at its most fundamental level. Every atom in your body was once part of a star that burned long ago. The carbon in your cells, the calcium in your bones, the oxygen you breathe, all were forged in stellar cores and released when those stars exploded. You are made of ancient fire, the residue of suns that lived, died, and scattered their ashes across space. Over billions of years, that dust gathered again into new worlds, new oceans, new life. To exist is to continue that cycle, the universe rearranging itself into awareness. When you look at the night sky, you are not gazing at something separate, but at your own origin. The stars are your ancestors, their light, the memory of what you once were. Every heartbeat is a repetition of that cosmic rhythm, birth, death, and return, a quiet echo of the stars still burning inside you. Sleep and death share the same rhythm, temporary dissolutions into quiet, both mirroring the universe's endless cycle of renewal. When you sleep, consciousness fades into stillness, then returns refreshed. When you die, the body's elements return to the cosmos, continuing in other forms. Nature repeats this pattern everywhere. Stars collapse and reignite. Seasons vanish and reappear. Darkness gives way to dawn. In these parallels lies comfort that rest is not an ending but a transformation. Each night, as you drift into dreams, you practice the art of cosmic surrender, letting go so that life may begin again in the morning. The universe, too, rests between creations, pausing between expansions, gathering its energy in silence. Sleep and death are not failures of being. They are reminders that renewal requires stillness, that even eternity must sometimes close its eyes to breathe. In the end, the universe will return to quiet light, the same state from which it began, after eons of creation and collapse, of stars burning and fading. Energy will even out until nothing moves faster than rest. The last photons will stretch into invisibility, merging into a soft, endless glow. It will not be darkness, but serenity, a return to balance. The cosmos will have completed its story, each atom dissolved into harmony. Yet within that stillness lies potential, the seed of another awakening, another spark waiting in equilibrium. The cycle may begin again, or remain as peace everlasting. Either way, the ending is gentle, without sound, without sorrow. The universe began in brilliance and will end in calm, circling back to its origin, not a bang, but a whisper of light folding quietly into itself. And now, the story circles back to silence, the same silence that began it all, patient, infinite, waiting. Every particle, every star, every heartbeat you've ever known was part of this long rhythm, expansion and return, creation and rest. The universe never truly stops. It only changes its pace. Galaxies drift apart like slow breaths. Stars are born from dust and die back into it. And somewhere inside that endless motion, life appears tiny, curious, aware. You are part of that awareness. The atoms in your body have burned in stars, slept in comets, and floated between galaxies before finding their way here. You are made of the same material that glows at the edge of time, listening to itself across billions of years. When you breathe, the universe breathes. When you fall asleep, it remembers how to begin again. There is comfort in knowing that everything returns. Every ending, no matter how final it seems, is simply another form of continuation. Even black holes, the darkest things we know, may give birth to new universes. Even the last fading light of the cosmos will not vanish. It will soften into balance, into quiet illumination. Nothing is ever truly lost. It only changes shape, energy rearranging itself in the soft language of eternity. So tonight, as you rest, imagine the vastness above you, not as empty, but as alive, an ocean of memory, moving gently, never hurried, never still. The light that touches your eyes began its journey long before there was earth, or oceans, or dreams. It traveled through collapse and creation to find you here. Now, breathing beneath the same cosmic rhythm that has pulsed since the first moment, let that thought settle. Let it slow your heartbeat until it matches the quiet tempo of galaxies turning. You do not have to hold on to anything. The universe is already holding you. In its rhythm, you are safe. In its stillness, you are home. And as you drift into sleep, know this: the cosmos is not ending, and neither are you. Both are simply folding into the next beginning, a soft return to light, a pause before another breath. The same silence that began the universe is here now, around you, within you, waiting to dream again. Sleep, then let go into that vast and gentle memory. The stars will keep their watch, and the universe will continue to breathe through you, quietly, forever. Good night.